There are two ways to lose a republic. The first is through conquest. The second is through forgetting. And of the two, forgetting is far more dangerous because it happens slowly, politely, and often with the best of intentions. Welcome to the Constitutional Republic series, a journey into the document that defines American self-governance, not as a legal relic gathering dust in a glass case, but as a living argument about human nature, power, and what free people owe each other and themselves. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually read the Constitution? Not a summary, not a tweet about it. The actual text. If your answer is never or not since high school, you are not alone, and that is precisely the problem this series exists to solve. Because the Constitution was never designed to protect itself. It was designed to be understood, defended, and actively practiced by ordinary citizens who took self-governance seriously. The moment citizens stop understanding it, the document becomes ceremonial. And ceremonial constitutions do not protect anyone from anything. So here is what we are building together. This series is organized into 4 philosophical volumes, each one constructing a deeper layer of understanding. Think of it less like a history class and more like a course in applied political philosophy grounded in real events, real debates, and real human beings who argued passionately about how to build something that had never been successfully built before. We begin with the text itself, reading the Constitution directly and examining the specific historical problem that provision was designed to solve. Every clause exists because something went wrong or someone feared it would. We then turn to who said it, drawing from the debates recorded by James Madison, one of the most meticulous note-takers in American political history, and introducing figures like Alexander Hamilton, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and the many voices that shaped the final agreement. We ground each episode in real history, returning repeatedly to September 17, 1787, the day agreement finally overcame division, and the founders signed a document none of them considered perfect, but all of them considered necessary. Then comes what we call the satirical interlude. Now, this is not mockery for its own sake. It is clarity through irony. Each episode will hold up a modern contradiction to the light, expanding bureaucracy inside a system specifically designed for limited government, treating temporary political authority as though it were a permanent inheritance, treating the Constitution as a suggestion box rather than a rule book with actual rules. These are not partisan observations. They are structural ones, and they apply equally regardless of which party happens to be in power. Finally, the Stoic summary, anchoring each constitutional principle in one of 4 classical virtues. Justice, meaning fair governance that treats citizens as ends rather than means. Wisdom, meaning the humility to understand limits, including the limits of government and of ourselves. Courage, meaning the willingness to defend principles when it is inconvenient or unpopular. And temperance, meaning restraint in the exercise of power, which the founders understood to be the rarest and most essential quality in any political leader. Federalism was the founders' mechanical answer to the oldest problems in political history. How do you govern a large, diverse nation without crushing the particular identities and interests of its constituent parts? The Constitution attempted something radical, creating a national government powerful enough to hold the Union together, but limited enough to leave meaningful authority with the states. Understanding where that line is drawn, who draws it, and what happens when it is disputed is essential to understanding virtually every major political conflict in American history. Ambition must be made to counteract ambition. Read that again slowly. The founders were not naive about human nature. They were stoics about it. They did not design a government for virtuous angels. They designed one for ambitious, self-interested, occasionally power-hungry human beings, because that is what human beings are. The 3 branches were not created to cooperate smoothly. They were created to compete, to push back against each other, to make the accumulation of unchecked power genuinely difficult. The system works through friction, not harmony. Here is the Stoic insight worth carrying from Book 4. Power that checks itself is power that lasts. The Roman Republic understood this until it did not, and the consequences of forgetting were catastrophic and irreversible. The American founders studied Rome carefully. They feared what Rome had become far more than they celebrated what Rome once was. Every provision in the Constitution related to federalism and separated powers was written by people who had watched republics collapse and were determined to design one that could resist the forces that had destroyed all the others. That determination is the inheritance being examined in this series. Not blind reverence for old documents, not cynical dismissal of founding ideals, but disciplined, honest, historically informed engagement with what was actually built, why it was built that way, and what is required of citizens who want to keep it functioning. The Constitution does not run on autopilot. It never has. It runs on citizens who understand what it says, why it says it, and what it cost to put those words on paper in the first place. Every episode in this series is an invitation to become that kind of citizen. Stay with the series. The work is worth doing. The Republic, as Benjamin Franklin once implied with magnificent understatement, is yours to keep, but only if you choose to understand it. Help us restore our Republic. Vote Rachel Fox for U.S. Senate this November 3rd.